Introduce our next speaker, David Taylor. Embrace the riches of other cultures. David Taylor.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most esteemed guests. Human beings are incredible. It's amazing how every culture has their riches, be it art, music, science, religion, and politics. I think too often we overlook embracing other cultures. We who live here in Los Angeles, we don't have very far to go to embrace other cultures. We've got little Tokyo, little Russia, little Armenia, little Saigon. There's a big Indian population over in Cerritos. But the richest part of cultures are when they help each other. I'll paint a clear picture to you with three very memorable experiences that happened to me. One day I go to the passport office to renew my passport. The line was at least 1 hour long. In front of me were two men. One man spoke Spanish, the other man spoke English. The Spanish-speaking man asked the English-speaking man for help in filling out his application. And the English-speaking man seemed to be a little frustrated and irritated and was very impatient with the Spanish-speaking man. So my efforts to embrace other cultures has led me to learn the Spanish language. So I chimed in, "Yo le puedo ayudar." I can help you. And immediately the Spanish-speaking man relaxed. And I helped him complete that application. And he was very, very grateful. And in that big room, there were a lot of other ears that were listening. And within a few moments, I had a long line of people who spoke Spanish, who were waiting for my help to fill out their application. I helped those people with great delight and great honor. And they were so appreciative, some of them even offered me money. Now, when you embrace other cultures, it comes back to you. Let me tell you how it came back to me. I go to Tokyo, Japan. I decided to take a walk. I leave my hotel room and it was light outside. When I decided to return, it was dark. I don't speak Japanese, nor do I read Japanese writing. In other words, I was lost. I couldn't find my way back. So I began to ask people if they could understand English with a little bit of Japanese that I know. Or something to that effect. And I kept getting no. And then I see a 7-Eleven. Somebody's got to speak English at 7-Eleven. I walk in, and I ask one of the gentlemen if he speaks English. And of course I got no. So, for some reason I went in my pocket and I pulled out the business card where the hotel I was staying. And I showed it to him. He looked at it and he read it. Hi, hi. So he seemed to understand where it was. So he proceeded to explain to me how to get to my hotel in Japanese. I didn't understand a word he was saying. He couldn't understand anything I was saying to him. So it got to a point we just kind of stood there looking at each other. And we both started laughing. By the way, I've learned, if you ever get in that situation, just laugh and it takes the pressure off of the situation. He then gestured for me to follow him. He took off his 7-Eleven jacket, laid it down, gesturing for me to follow him. I followed him. He gestured for me to follow him outside. I didn't feel threatened, so I followed him. So he motioned for me to move a little faster. So all of a sudden we're walking and we get into a little bit of a jog. And before I know it, you see all like this, and we're running, and all of a sudden we're huffing and puffing. And after a few minutes, he said, "Hi, gozo." There was my hotel. Now, how many of you know anyone who would leave their job site to show you how to get back to your hotel? Amazing. Then you have these really wonderful, precious, sweet, innocent moments. I go to Istanbul, Turkey to visit a friend. I was invited to a party. Out of one of the rooms comes a little small boy of about 4 or 5 years old. He comes out and he looks at me and he stops in his tracks, almost in shock. Now, he said something that I didn't understand, but if I had to translate his body language and the way it sounded, it would go something like this. Whoa! Look at that! Where did you get one of those? Then he took his little hands and he rubbed them over his cheeks. And everybody broke out in laughter. Again, I didn't understand. They translated for me. He said, "You look like chocolate." I thought that was cute. A few moments later, his mother came walking toward me, holding the little boy's hand. And she was walking slow, her head kind of down. And she said, "I'm so sorry. I don't want to bother you, but he wants to kiss you." Oh, that is so sweet. The little boy comes running into my arms, grabs me around my neck, squeezes me tight, and gives me a big kiss. Mwah! I think you really wanted to see if I tasted like chocolate. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot put a price tag on that kind of an experience. I think if we go out and we embrace other cultures, there's always riches in it for everybody. I embrace you.